Hello, everyone. Welcome to Angie's Drama Room. I am your meeting host, Angie, where I do drama reviews on all things drama, focusing mostly on Asian dramas. And today is a Korean costume drama, and it is Missing Crown Prince. So I mentioned it earlier, and I thought they were only going to go 16 episodes, which is the normal for Korean dramas. But however, they decided to go 20. So I decided to go ahead and just push it through because right now we're on episode 18. And I maybe this be my final wrap up, or maybe I'll just come back on and just give me my final thoughts. So I just thought maybe I'll just jump right on in. Missing Crown Prince was about the torrid love affair between the Queen Dowager, I believe that's how you would pronounce it, and the physician. If you want to know what a Queen Dowager is, it's just like the Queen Mom, like Queen Elizabeth in London. That's pretty much what that is, and the physician. And what was happening was the queen and the physician loved each other in their earlier age. And however, the king at the time wanted the queen or wanted the maiden for himself. And he didn't care that she was already betrothed to somebody else. My thought is that the physician is basically putting his revenge in action, trying to now make the queen his. Well, the king already died, okay, and it is unspoken for her to remarry or present herself to anybody else. So that's the reason why we have all this sneaking around going on. So the physician did end up marrying someone else, and they had a daughter, our other maiden, who is our female lead. So the physician came up with a plan in order for her to marry the crown prince. But however, he's listening to a shaman. So what happened with the shaman thing is that before he was supposed to have married or supposed to have gotten married to the queen originally, the shaman told him he needed to hurry up and get married. But he wanted to wait until after he took the test or whatever type of the governor's test or whatever test this was called, I can't remember. And he wanted to wait until that test was taken before he married her. But the shaman told him he needed to get married right away. But since he waited, of course, our king came in, swooped in, and took the Queen Dagger for himself. So that's the reason why he listened to the shaman this time when it came to his daughter and said, if his daughter gets married now, she will not live. And so the shaman told him how to come up with a plan where she could still marry the queen, still marry the crown prince and still live. And that's basically what it was, is that he had to find a replacement, okay, secretly find a replacement and then kill him, and then she should be able now to marry the crown prince. But what ended up happening was they kidnapped the wrong person and they kidnapped the crown prince. So now, because they kidnapped the crown prince, she still can't marry him because of the shaman thing telling him if she married the crown prince, she's going to die. So now they had to figure out what to do. So instead of marrying the crown prince, they decided she should marry the grand prince, which was the younger brother. And so now they're trying to make the grand prince the crown prince. Okay, everybody got that? You're working with me now. And so this is how it all started. So they kidnapped the crown prince. She realized what was going on. So she took the crown prince away from her home. And now they're thinking that he was just the maiden thought he was just a nobleman. Okay, so she didn't know that he was the crown prince, and the crown prince thinks that she was the maid to the maiden, which now they swap places. She swapped places with her own maid. Well, it's not a maid. I'm not quite sure what would you call her. I can't remember what they called her. But anyway, she swapped places, saying, okay, you become the maiden and I'll become you. So that's how it all began. Hence, now we have the crown prince is missing. In order to get this whole thing going on, to make the grand prince the crown prince, they poisoned the king, who is the sitting king right now, poisoned the king and held on to him long enough in order to, I guess, make a decree in order for the crown prince to become crown prince, and then have the crown prince deposed that he was the one who poisoned the king. So that's kind of how the whole story revolves. So now we have where everybody now is pretty much clamoring for position and power. Episodes 8, 9, that's pretty much what happened. The crown prince is out missing. He's trying to figure out what's going on. They didn't find out that she was the maiden, and she didn't find out he was the crown prince until about episode 10-ish, I believe. I'm not quite sure. Don't quote me on that. The physician wanted his daughter to marry the grand prince in order for her to become elevated higher into the courtroom. So basically, it was just kind of revenging against the whole courts, the royal court. That's pretty much what it was, taking back the power and being upset because his betrothed was taken away from him, which was the Queen Dowager. The Queen Dowager just wanted to be loved and run away with the physician, but however, the physician didn't want to go through all that. He actually wanted to get all this stuff in place before they actually do go off to the sunset. If the physician is caught with treason, he was supposed to be beheaded, or and also his daughter, which is the maiden. Okay, so that's the reason why. So they didn't really poison the king to his death, but they kept him under and doing all this stuff behind his back. Now the king has lived, survived, and here we are now in episode 17. The king presents himself awake, and now he has to now go back and take over the royal courts, right? And so in order to do that, you have to command the army. Okay. And so in order to command the army, so he had to go and get they call them tiger hunters. So the queen and the physician said, if we go and get the tiger hunters, then they can take over the court, the royal courts, and take charge. And so they went off and did that. They tried to do that. So here we have the king who already knew the plan, because he's waking up now. We have the king who already knew the plan. So now he has to take over the tiger hunters himself. Again, whoever commands the army could command the court, the royal court. Okay, that's any treason or any takeover. If you command the army, that's what happens, because you need the army on your side. So he did end up taking over the army. The tiger hunters changed their name to the Royal Army, something like that. And now here we are. The courtyard, the physician and the queen comes out. There's a battle pursued. They come out, and the physician is calling now for the tiger hunters, thinking that he has now command over the tiger hunters, and nobody came out yet. Okay. And so now it's like, opens the doors, and here come our king. The king coming in here like, I'm owning this place. I got this. So now him and the crown prince is behind him, because now at that point they threw out the crown prince, and the grand prince is supposed to marry the maiden. But however, the maiden took sides with the crown prince, of course, because the maiden and the crown prince fell in love, not knowing at the time he was the crown prince and she was the maiden. But however, now that they still knew each other, they fell in love. So now they got a legion of other people behind him, the other people that was deposed, who was part of the king's courts at the time, were deposed. So they got them on, but they come into the courtroom, the courtyard, and now here's the physician. Like, everybody's bowing. The grand prince was still there. He bowing. Everybody's bowing. We got the three people who were the instigators, of the governor's instigators, inspectors and stuff, they were like, do I bow? Shouldn't I bow? So one of them bows, but the dad, it was the grandfather of one of the queen, but Howard, that's something else. And he's walking up, and so now you have it where he said physicians still think he still has the charge over the tiger hunters. And he's still calling them. Ain't nobody showing up, right? Because now he doesn't have the charge of the tiger hunters. The king does, and he changed him to the royal army or something in that nature. So now he's calling for, so the king was like, royal army. They coming up on top of rooftops with the arrows. They coming in, rushing in from the back with the swords. And yeah, you're about ready, it's about ready to go down. And the physician, still being stubborn, he ain't kneeling. So they go up to the steps where the queen dogwalker was, and he's like turned around to the people and said, get this queen dogwalker out the way, because she's feeling a little bit dizzy and confused, basically, and told her to go on. I'll deal with this right now. King said, I'm going to deal with this right now. The crown prince walks up to the physician, who's still decided not to bow, and said, unless you want to join the queen in her death, you may want to bow right now. He ended up bowing. So now the king sat there and disposed the physician, told the queen she needed to stay where she is and take some rest right now. I'm going to deal with this. They go to the hall in order to basically fired everybody else, put other people back into his place, told other people to watch over the queen dogger, his people to watch over the queen dogger. She was able to keep her court lady. So she was able to keep her court lady. However, everybody else that's around her is the king's people. Okay, so yeah, the king is pissed. The king already made a decision to keep the maiden, because the maiden was also the one who's helping him to recover and so on and so forth, because remember, she was with him all this time. But however, the physician didn't know that, and neither did the grand prince. So the grand prince thinking that she's going to die, but the grand prince is trying, and the king's like, shut up, I don't want to hear nothing from you. Okay. And so after everybody left, the king's like, how is it that both my sons fell in love with the same woman, and his father was trying to, he's just like, he's just going to shake his head on that one. So that's pretty much how it's ending here. So now the queen dogwalker and the physician, now the queen dogwalker said in the beginning from episode 4, hey, let's leave. And I just want to be with you. That's all she really wanted to do. She just wanted to be with the love of her life, and that's all she really wanted. She didn't even care about the whole court. But however, the physician wanted to seek revenge. He wanted to place his daughter in this royal family and all that. And so this is the reason why. So by the time episode 18 rolls around, they ended up leaving altogether. She snuck out. She left. She turned herself into a court lady in order to sneak out of the royal palace, in order to hide with our physician. And at this point, the physician and the queen dogwalker finds out the queen dogwalker is pregnant. Yes. And so, yeah. So that's how it has ended. We have 2 more episodes to go. Will the queen dogwalker and the physician be happily and lovely with their new family? Will the crown prince end up marrying the maiden? Now, I guess the grand prince doesn't stay in the royal palace. Only the crown prince stays in the royal palace. So he got back. He didn't get deposed, but he went back to where he was supposed to be. So what's going to happen with the grand prince? What's going to happen with the king and the queen, the actual queen, not the queen dogwalker, but the queen, the king's wife. They made a plan together too, so I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. Episode 15, 16, 17, 18, even 14, I kind of just now was like, okay, let's just get to the point. Chemistry between the male lead and the female lead it was really good. you felt the connection, the love between the two of them. She acted like a humble maiden. The grand prince also was very good in this. The king, the queen, the queen dowager, and the physician. The physician's been on a lot of Korean dramas, even with contemporary dramas. They were really good. I think these Korean actors did a very excellent job when it came to costume dramas. Most of the time, if you guys realize, I don't do a lot of costume dramas. However, this one was a very good costume drama, and I really did enjoy it. I appreciate everything. Media adjourned.